Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome to Talking Shit with your boy Sophisticated Jerk. And today I wanted to talk about the New Orleans Bourbon Street attack with Shamsud-Din Jabbar. And first of all, man, my condolences goes out to the families down there. Very sad incident. So just to kind of give you guys some background on this loser. Yeah, I'm going there today, because the reason why I call people like this losers, because anytime like you have some hardships in life, and instead of facing them, it's like everything ain't always going to work out, because from what I looked up, it seemed like he had some failed businesses, failed relationship, marriages. There was two different accounts that I seen. He had two divorces and another one said three, left behind some kids and stuff. But it's just like, instead of facing, maybe I'm just not good in this lane, I need to pivot and probably get a job instead of doing businesses, to go out there and do an act like this, a terrorist act like this, in New Orleans when people are just celebrating, letting off steam. There was like younger adults that was in there, probably just graduated or, going to school and stuff. So it's just like to go out there and do this type of act, because you can't hack life, that's just some cowardice. And also, like I said before, it's just, it's pathetic, at the end of the day. But before we jump into some of the videos, because some of the videos are going to give some background on, his background, the marriages, the businesses and stuff like that. But, the incident happened on New Year's Day down on Bourbon Street, the early hours of New Year's Day again, and it left 15 people dead and dozens more hospitalized. So just to give a little background on Shamsud-Din Jabbar, sorry, I'm butchering some of the names today. He was a 42-year-old Army veteran from Houston, Texas, according to the FBI. And one of the, I say, sad elements to the story is that, the military and veteran affairs, they give a lot of services to people, like as far as like job placement, mental health services. So it's like he had a lot of different options he could have taken besides going this route. It's like I said, it's like I get like your business might fail, but it's just like, man, you could have pivoted in so many ways. And then if he's from Texas, they have a lot of veteran population down there that got good services. So he didn't have to go and get radicalized and attached to any group and stuff like that and harm other people. But all right, let me jump into these videos and stuff. So all right, here's the first video right here where they go in his background.
The FBI says the Bourbon Street attacker was, quote, 100% inspired by ISIS. But how did Jabbar go from homegrown Texan to radicalized terrorist? Investigative reporter Jeremy Rogowski spent the day digging into his background and continues our team coverage now. Jeremy.
Well, Mia, Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry says getting answers to questions like that is like trying to solve a jigsaw puzzle with 1,000 pieces.
You've got to start sifting through those pieces.
That's the task ahead as investigators unravel the life of Shamsud-Din Jabbar, from the terror on Bourbon Street to his childhood in Beaumont.
I'm just shocked.
Where a high school classmate remembered him as well-spoken and smart.
I mean, you just wouldn't think that he would do something like this.
This is not how we knew Shamsud-Din.
A friend of the family, also floored by the news.
I'd love to get my hands on whoever influenced him.
After high school, records.
That part right there kind of irritates me because I think sometimes, man, people make excuses too much for grown-ass adults. And it's almost like, well, the person that influenced him, we're going to be mad at. It's like, nah, man, he's an adult. He made his decision. And a lot of times I think we give too much credence to people getting radicalized. I just think sometimes people are just crazy. And in this case, it's just like once they experience hardships and they can't hack it, man, that's when they'll like latch on to any group or anything. So I just think like with that person right there, it's just because he might know the person, he's looking at it like, oh, well, somebody had to influence this. I don't think it's that much influence he needed, to pull off this ad. I just think sometimes people, man, instead of, like I said, fixing their situation and going out, reaching out, getting help. Because it's like you could always go on the other extreme, is like going out, helping people, doing volunteer work. So it's like, why don't he go to that extreme versus like the destructive path? And I just don't think you need to be. Sometimes these people are just naturally like off a little bit, and they don't really need that push like we think in our minds that they might need.
show Jabbar married and divorced 3 times, had at least 3 children, and served in the Army from 2007 to 2020, leaving as a staff sergeant.
I'm Shamsud-Din Jabbar, property manager with Blue Metal Properties.
The same year, Jabbar posted this YouTube video about a real estate career in Houston, a business he later reported a $28,000 loss, along with past due house payments of $27,000 he listed in divorce proceedings.
See, and that even though he had a business that lost, it's like you still were a realtor. You could have went out there and worked for somebody else and maybe did some other things until, you got back on your feet, pay back your past dues or something. So that's what I'm saying. And sometimes I think the picture is bigger where it's just like people just would turn their attention to, everybody else and become bitter instead of just fixing their problems and stuff.
In 2022, his wife accused Jabbar of excessive cash withdrawals, gifts to paramours, and unreasonable spending. Months later, records show he was evicted from an apartment in Cyprus.
We are looking in everything.
See, so it sounded like he was also like kind of living out of his means, like excessive spending, had bad spending habits, and then, probably didn't have the best business plan. So when you mix all that stuff together, he just kind of spiraled out of control. Then he got divorced. I think they do mention like had some impact on him financially. So like I said, he probably just got bitter. And then, like I said, just typical like person like him with his mindset is like, let me target everybody else instead of targeting myself and seeing why I keep having these bad situations. Because if you've been married like 2 to 3 times, like you're the issue. You created a pattern. You have failed businesses. You don't have a lot of, I'll say good friendships where you could go turn to people and, they could talk to you and kind of give you constructive criticism. It's a you issue, but instead they start latching on to any group and start kind of becoming extremists and stuff. But I think it's kind of a weak cop out, honestly.
Thing in his life.
The FBI executed a search warrant at Jabbar's latest home in North Harris County. Investigators have not yet reported what they found inside or whether any of those pieces will help solve the puzzle of how this native Texan and Army veteran pledged allegiance to the Islamic State.
That's the stuff in the coming days as far as that path to radicalization that we're really going to be digging into and making a priority.
Now, the FBI did say that Jabbar claimed he joined ISIS before last summer, saying so in one of 5 Facebook videos investigators say he posted while driving from Texas to New Orleans New Year's Eve night. Mia and Tracy.
With the background, Jeremy Rogowski, thank you.
Let me play the next video. Because on the next video, I think it's his half brother comes out and, kind of makes some statements about the whole situation. And so I'll go ahead and play that real quick.
We now want to go to Joy Addison. She is in Beaumont. She's in Beaumont because that is where Jabbar actually grew up. And she spoke to one of his brothers, Joy.
Keith, that's right. This is the block where Jabbar grew up. His family is just around the corner. I spoke with his younger brother. The 3 of him and his 2 older brothers share a father. And he tells me that Jabbar lived a relatively normal life. The brother that I spoke with, his name is Abdur. And he says that Jabbar attended high school here in Beaumont, a central high school. He was living in Houston at the time of the attack. And he tells me that there was no red flags leading up to what happened. He does say that the shooter, who went by the nickname of Sham, did express some discontentment with the partying that took places in different areas, like on Bourbon Street in New Orleans. But he says that those activities were not righteous, but he didn't say that he was going to directly do anything in any of the areas where he complained about people partying continuously. He grew up here in Beaumont, like I said, attended Central High School. He was an Army veteran who served in Afghanistan, and his family says that he lived in Houston. He worked in tech. He had 3 kids, and he was twice divorced. The most recent.
See, and that's another thing I just caught. Like they said he worked in tech. So it's just like, man, he did have like other options. But like I said, it's like sometimes self-centered people, man, they just, if things don't go their way, they just crumble and, like I said, start taking it out on everybody else. And yeah, it seemed like he just had a lot of untapped options. But he just, like I said, just got bitter with his stuff just not working out the way he probably wanted it to.
recent one was just settled last year. Now, his brother did say that that divorce did burden the shooter financially because he felt that, according to his faith, he had to pay for his ex-wife home for some time. But overall, he says that their family is just shocked and devastated by what happened because, like I said, he said the shooter showed no red flags.
Yeah, so that's where they kind of mentioned that last divorce, kind of took him further into that financial hole and stuff. But again, that's his decision making. It's like when you select certain people, or you jump into relationships, and that's you made that decision. Did you vet that relationship out properly? If you already have prior divorces, did you fix like the issues you had like with any of those? Because like I said before, it's like you kind of created a pattern. So it's just like, that's what I'm saying. It's just like sometimes people just compile so much stuff on their plate because they don't fix a lot of the issues, and then they just want to lash out at everybody. They get mad. Like I said, they start seeking negativity instead of going out there and be like, hey, let me pause. I don't need to be in no relationships right now. Let me fix myself. Let me get involved in the community. Like, let me go do some community work. They never want to take that route. So they take this route and, go and hurt other people and stuff. It's pathetic.
Our hearts and prayers and thoughts go out to those families, the victims of those families, and those who were there to witness it. It's a tragedy, and to understand that we're all grieving about this. This wasn't the man I knew. This wasn't the father, the son that I knew. And that also, this isn't any representation of Al-Islam or Muslims or the Muslim community.
I did like that he stated that. I grew up around a lot of Muslim Islamic people, and man, they'll give you the shirt off their back, so I think sometimes we gotta be careful. It's like when people take these extremes like this, man, don't put it on the larger group. It's just this idiot right here that did it. And one other thing I wanted to point out, you got to be a self-centered ass individual to do stuff like this. Cause I mean, it's sad when the family's got to come out here and like do these like interviews and like, they got to kind of say like, oh, I didn't see the red flags. I never saw this coming. Don't interview me. Anybody in my family do, I'm cussing them out. I'm like, hey man, fuck them. Put them, if they still like, put them under the jail. Like, I'm not going to be the one saying no nice quotes about you. I'm sorry. I'm like, hey, go all the way that we need to with the legal system. That's where I'll be at with it. I'm not coming out doing I didn't see this videos about you. But yeah, no, I think that's one of the saddest parts. And he also left behind kids, so that element, you was an Army veteran, so you put shame on our organization, military. So yeah, I just think, man, people just are self-centered and they don't care about shit, and they just need that little bit of an excuse. And what for him was the ISIS thing.
I also asked Abdur if his family had seen any disturbing videos on social media posted by the shooter. He said that they were made aware of a video by the FBI investigators who came to their house shortly after I spoke with him. But he says the family was not able to see this video themselves in the hours leading up to that attack. In Beaumont, Texas, Joy Addison, KPRC 2 News.
Yeah, so I got one more video where they show like the residence he was staying, I guess, after the whole divorce and stuff like that. They kind of show what was inside his place. So I'll play that before we go ahead and close out. So give me 1 second. All right.
Also learning more about the suspect's home life. This video was taken inside the mobile home that Shamsud-Din Jabbar rented in Texas. You can see the damage left behind by the FBI.
Yeah, he was down there struggling. Shit. My man was out there doing pretty bad after that.
Damaged doors and items thrown about. We're learning that the former real estate business owner lived in the Houston area for several years and had recently worked as a staffer for the consulting group Deloitte. Neighbors describe Jabbar as a private person and say they saw no red flags that he could be responsible for something this horrific.
Yeah, I just wanted to play that last clip because I saw that they was like, kicking in the door and searching and stuff, trying to piece together more stuff. But man, just one last thing, like, I seen people talk about the military and PTSD. Like, man, go get some help. They offer a lot of services. The VA does too. And you know, man, find people you could talk to. Go out there and do positive stuff, man. You know, don't sort to evil because, man, you might be feeling bad and some bad stuff happen in your life. It's like you're not the only person that's having issues and stuff. And it's just like, man, for him to go out there, it's just like to destroy those people's lives and all that. You know, I just don't get it sometimes. But all right, y'all. Yeah, I just wanted to vent a little bit on this subject. Yeah, I saw it playing out and I did wanted to touch it. But all right, y'all, keep tuning in. Peace.